What's good, family? Welcome back to the channel. In this video right here, we have a terrifying kidnapping and murder of a 19-year-old girl named Andrea Vazquez. That's very sad and unfortunate. And then we have that her boyfriend ended up running away, which seems very, very suspect. If her boyfriend is the one that did this right here, that's just so weird. I don't ever understand how just love gets to that point. Well, quote unquote love. That's just psychotic though. We don't even know the story yet. I don't know the story yet. But that's just the clues that they gave in the title in itself. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to all be investigators and actually try to figure out what happened and how this went down. For real. And I do need to mention for YouTube purposes that this video right here is just to bring awareness so people can be more careful and just spreading news information. Let's get straight into this, y'all.
Today's case is one that I've gotten request after request to cover. It's a somewhat local case to me and is absolutely heartbreaking and seriously puzzling the more that I look into the details. Now, as you can see, I am not recording from my studio today like I usually am. I am recording from my home office because so many of you were requesting this and I felt like it just truly does need more coverage. So we're gonna jump right into all of the details. Hey guys, I'm Annie Elise. This is 10 to Life. Let's jump right in.
Bro, that gotta be like worst case, bro. Worst case scenario is a kidnapping, bro.
This is 10 to Life with Annie Elise.
I do a lot of research for these cases on the internet, and it takes me to a lot of dark corners of the internet, dark sites. I have to search some really horrific and horrendous things. I have to see horrific and horrendous things. And if I ever go missing or something ever happens to me or somebody just decides to look in my browser history for any reason, they are going to be horrified by what they see. I don't want anybody seeing that. It's not their business. I don't want them thinking a certain way of me. I don't want them thinking I'm into some of this stuff myself. So I like to keep things private. That is why it is so incredibly important national. You are right and keeps your and high. You don't just watch Netflix at Surfshark Travel too. On August 20th at 11:52 a.m., the Whittier Police Department put out a critical missing person and kidnapping alert on their Facebook. They listed the woman kidnapped as 19-year-old Andrea Vazquez. The post read in part, "We are investigating a reported shooting and kidnapping incident that took place shortly after midnight on August 20th, 2023. It took place in the parking stalls area of Penn Park, located at 13950 Penn Street in Whittier." An adult male witness reported that while at the park with an adult female companion, an armed suspect approached their vehicle and then fired a weapon in their direction. The male witness ran from the location and, upon his return, discovered blood near his vehicle, and his female companion was missing.
He dipped.
Detectives are actively working this investigation and following up on all leads. The missing adult female.
That's crazy. That's like one of your main jobs as the man in the relationship, to protect your shorty. He dipped on her. Now, obviously, not many of us have been in this type of position, but bruh, sheesh, leaving your shorty left. Well, I know it's a sensitive topic, but just leaving her, bro, it's just left. Dang.
Has been identified as Andrea Vazquez, 19 years of age and a resident of Los Angeles County. She is described as a female Hispanic, 5'3" and 103 pounds, with brownish red hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a black long-sleeve crop top, khaki pants, and black low-top Converse shoes. So word quickly began to spread about this 19-year-old who was seemingly shot and kidnapped from a park with no real motive, and people began trying to find her immediately. Andrea's friends and family began searching for her and begging for her to be brought home.
We're here and we're looking and we're not going to stop looking, and she'll be with us soon, and I know she will. And if you have her, please just bring her home. I don't want to know anything. I don't have any questions for the person, nothing. I just want her home.
Her parents, Enrique and Ana, were desperate to find their young daughter, who was missing and more than likely seriously injured based on the blood that was found next to the car and her boyfriend telling them that she had been shot and that he had ran to go get help. Andrea's sister was able to track her phone down to Route 60, and it was in a city called Moreno Valley. This was early on Sunday morning. When she got there, she found the phone and more blood, but Andrea was not there. So the police were called from that location, and they came out with drones and canines and began searching immediately. They were searching throughout Tropical Storm Hillary, which was a hurricane in the area, and it brought lots of rain, but that did not stop their efforts to find her. On Monday night, around 11:50 p.m., Andrea was found, right around the 48-hour mark. But unfortunately, she was not found alive. She was found in a vegetation field in Moreno Valley. Now, this vegetation field is nearly 60 miles away from...
People are just so freaking psychotic. It's insane, bro. Like, bro, stuff like this, I don't know why. It's really just sitting in right now. Like, yo, this really happened in real life. Like, this really happened, bro.
Penn Park, where the shooting and the abduction took place. But who would shoot at this girl and her boyfriend and then take her body and dump it in a field? And why? Well, little did anyone know that Whittier police already had a suspect in custody before they even found her body. The following day, August 22nd, they announced that they had arrested 20-year-old Gabriel Esparza, who also lives in Whittier. They had arrested him at around 3 p.m. on the 21st of August. Gabriel actually only lives a couple of minutes away from Penn Park, and on top of that, his father is actually a fire captain for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Gabriel was arrested during a shift at work in Lakewood and was initially being held on charges of kidnapping and murder. Law enforcement also announced that they have...
I want to know what the evidence was that made the police arrest him. Give me the evidence, because right now I don't know whether I should look at this dude right now as a dweeb that just kidnapped and murdered. I need to know the evidence, bro, because his face right now is blowing mine. Like, look at him. Blowing mine right now, bro.
Would.
He looks like he went to the same high school as her. He had like the biggest crush, and he was just so mad and envious that she just had a boyfriend, and like she just had nothing to do with him, bro.
Was initially being held on charges of kidnapping and murder. Law enforcement also announced that they have recovered a rifle, which they believed is the murder weapon, and they also recovered the truck that Gabriel had been driving, which was a 2013 white Toyota Tacoma. Upon Gabriel's arrest, he was interrogated, where he gave a very detailed confession. He told officers that when he got to Penn Park, he approached and shot at the car. After he shot Andrea, he placed her in the bed of his truck and then drove the approximately 1-hour drive to Moreno Valley. Once he got there, he tried to violate her and take advantage of her in a sexual way before dumping her body in the field. Now, he told officers that his intentions were to have sex with her, to commit sodomy and oral copulation. Just absolutely sick, deranged, and twisted. So based on his confession, they were able to find Andrea's body. There have been a lot of rumors floating around that Gabriel was Andrea's ex-boyfriend, because everybody has been trying to figure out what was the motive, what was the connection, why target her. However, in his confession, he told law enforcement that he did not know her, and it was a totally random attack.
One thing that I know for a fact, though, I've been watching a lot of stories about what really goes on in prisons, and they said that this dude that was in prison for 10 years was saying that if you have any charge that has to do with, like, they call it a chomo, which is child molestation, and grape, you're automatically getting like a slice to the face or just getting killed in prison. Because these dudes that are doing life in prison, they don't care. They'll You know what I'm saying? They will kill you. They have nothing to lose. They'll do it, and they're already doing life. It don't matter. So it's going to be a rough one for him in prison, y'all. If that makes any of y'all feel better, it's going to be very, very rough for him. Because the prisoners, they end up finding out his papers and why he's actually even in there.
Enforcement has said numerous times now that the attack was in fact completely random, but some people are still weary about that. After Andrea's body was found, her parents spoke to a news channel, and then a vigil was held where her parents and other members of her family spoke again.
Hoping that God give me the miracle. It doesn't happen.
That's so sad, man.
She was only 19. Today is the worst day of my life. We received the news that my daughter died, and we have a lot of hope that she was alive. But this morning, everything.
I lost my daughter.
Dang.
And I can describe pain. I know, and I hope you understand me. I didn't deserve this to anyone. It's my daughter, my angel, and it's the saddest day.
I'm surprised by the amount of people that did show up today. You know, the love that we have for my cousin, it's insane.
Knowing one of our young cousins.
Like, I can't even possibly imagine what it's like. You know, just losing a child in general. I'm just thinking about what it could, like, their position. It's like, yo, they were raising her for 19 years. Like, she was almost coming to that point where, you know, where she was going to start living her own life. Not under their household or whatever like that, but just, it's just so sad.
He's no longer here with us. It's hard.
I need to be good for her.
Gabriel was arraigned at a Los Angeles County court where both his family and Andrea's family were sitting just one row apart from each other. And it was there that he was slapped with 7 charges: 1 count of murder, 1 count premeditated attempted murder, 1 count kidnapping, and 4 other charges that had to do with kidnapping, harming, and attempting to sexually violate Andrea. During the court hearing, he pled not guilty. A victim advocate, his attorney, and Andrea's family all spoke after.
His demeanor is one of sadness, shock, and he's scared. He doesn't know what's going to happen. It's extremely, it doesn't get more serious than this. And so he's just beginning, I think, to understand what is going on. And I think part of that is due to his youth and his ability to understand consequences.
I am pleased that he did add the special circumstances when it comes to
consequences this, consequences that. Bro, he had a whole entire rifle, kidnapped her, did all this other stuff, and ended her life, bro. What you mean consequences? Bro, I mean, as a child, we do something wrong, we end up getting a timeout.
committing a kidnap and the commission of a murder, and committing an attempt rape twice in the commission of a murder. Those 2, when convicted, faces the life without parole.
I think it was interesting that he confessed and then pled not guilty, yet his attorney did not seem to be disputing the fact that he did it when he spoke out after court. So I'm curious to see what angle the defense will take in this, although at this point, I think it will likely be a slam dunk case just based on the evidence and the facts that we've already seen. Gabriel was given no bail, so he will be staying in the Los Angeles County Jail, and his next court date is October 25th, which will be a pretrial hearing. It really is just truly so sad to think about what happened to Andrea and how scared both she and her boyfriend must have been at that moment. So many people have been trying to actually blame the boyfriend for leaving her, but after I heard Andrea's sister say that he left to go look for help, it completely makes more sense to me. He didn't just flee. It wasn't coincidental. It wasn't any type of setup. He's really young too, and I can imagine, like most of us, we could have never been prepared or known exactly what to do in a moment like this. Yeah. Usually in a random shooting, the shooter would just shoot and leave. So I highly doubt that he ever even had the possibility of Andrea being kidnapped run through his mind. It's clear to me that he was just trying to run and to get help for her. If Andrea was still alive on that ride to Moreno Valley, I can only imagine how much pain that she would have been in and how scared she must have been. It's hard to understand why someone like Gabriel, who seemed to be living a nice and privileged life, would do something so heinous and so horrible to a stranger. I know it's left me a little bit puzzled, as I'm sure it has all of you. The idea that he took the life of someone that he didn't know, tried to sexually attack her, then dumped her body, and then just went back to his daily routine of work is almost incomprehensible to me. Law enforcement still hasn't found a direct motive either. And I'm curious to know what you guys think that the motive may have been, or if you guys think that there's any possible way that maybe he had seen Andrea before. Maybe not directly knew her, but maybe had seen her. Why else target somebody so specifically after midnight? Or was it going to be anybody who happened to be there? Was he just looking for any victim at all? Andrea's family and boyfriend will no doubt be grieving and trying to come to terms with what has happened to her over the next few months and years, I'm sure. A GoFundMe was set up to help her family with all of the upcoming expenses that they will incur as they plan a funeral and likely take some much needed time off of work. Andrea was a girl with a very bright future ahead of her. She was someone who had her life senselessly taken away from her when she was just trying to spend some time with her boyfriend. But Andrea is more than just the girl who was killed at Penn Park. She was a sister, a daughter, a cousin, an aunt, a student, and a friend. She was someone who made everyone laugh and loved her family and her friends so much. Now, I'm going to be following this case closely as more information comes out because so many of us are just so curious. What was the motive here? Why did this happen? And why did this young man feel like he had to murder and kill someone? It makes no sense. So I'm going to be sure to keep all of you in the loop. For now, please keep Andrea's loved ones in your thoughts and prayers as they navigate through such a horrific and heartbreaking tragedy. And now, of course, we'll have to be faced with sitting through many court hearings over the next few months at the very least. I can't even imagine what they must be going through. So please leave your supportive comments for them in the comment section below and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in with me. I know so many of you have been requesting this.
Yeah, man. Prayers go out to Andrea and her family. That is just so crazy to think about. And it'll be hard for people to even understand why he did it because it just doesn't make sense. We're not in that mindset where we could possibly kidnap someone, kill them, and leave them left for dead out in the open and then go on with our day like nothing ever happened. That's just not the mindset we have. So, like I said, the only possible motive I could think of, I wonder if he did live in the same town. And there should be more information being revealed from her boyfriend about who this individual was, if he does know. You feel what I'm saying? Whether it was someone that she knew, whether they had relations in the past, whatever it was. Or he could have just been some weirdo dude that just would see her around in school or class or around town and just be jealous, like I said before. And just be jealous that she had a boyfriend. It can just be that psychotic. We don't know, but the situation is very sad, yeah. All right. So, yeah, prayers go out to her. You can comment down below, RIP, rest in peace for Andrea, man. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. The same way you're going to catch me in the next one. Peace. Love y'all.